You are listening to the WADT podcast. Today, we conclude the 4-part series called Transform. For this series, we are collaborating with the Tai Hwa Kwan Moral Charities, a non-profit organization that provides assistance to the elderly, the sick, families, children, and persons with disabilities through many different programs and services. One of which is the Brotherhood program, where men who have caused hurt to the loved ones are helped to resolve their issues with anger and aggression. Throughout this series, you will hear very real and personal stories of adversity, courage, and victory told by those who live these experiences. Today, we have with us William and Michael to share their stories. Let's begin with you, Michael. So you have gone through the Brotherhood program under Tai Hwa Kwan, and can you share with us what brought you to this program to begin with?
You have to be on my court case on my wife. Then later I was invited to regards to this new series Brotherhood. I want to join to hear from others. Then how can I control my temper to see how it goes with this Brotherhood, because it's a one and only in Singapore.
So you are married with a wife, and do you have any children?
Yeah, I have one beautiful lady, daughter.
Okay. So when you talk about you being, violent or aggressive or maybe even abusive, was it towards your wife or towards your children or both?
This one more or less towards my wife. Maybe due to when I was young, I stay in the kampong, you see. So in the kampong time, we have gangster group, so-called the kampong gangster. So maybe to us, violence is just another cup of tea only. A daily meal, you see. Because it's one whole week, 7 days, I can say almost 7 days we'll fight with our kampong friends. So we can fight in the morning or afternoon, then in the evening we end up friends again. So it's like a daily meal to us, you see.
I
So
see.
eventually this is because my dad, he himself is a gangster leader also. So maybe because of this, where I was brought up in childhood time as a violent character. So to me is we Chinese have a way of a Chinese saying, 升旗手大富贵. It means that whoever lay the hand first on the other party will win, will get prosperity. So automatically, when I now get married, sometimes this thing, when you burst into fire, this thing will come out automatically. You can't stop it like that.
Yes, it's like it's programmed into your brain, right? So it's automatic that it comes out, and that's how you behave. So just to be clear,
Yes.
so you lived in a kampong, you grew up in a kampong, and you said there were gangs. I mean, were these really serious gangs, or maybe it's more like a group of kids who play together in the kampong?
Yeah, it's more or less like a kampong kids gangs, gangster group, small gang whereby is because we are too young to join the adult so called the secret society lah. But eventually, when we grow up only to our teenagers time, automatically we are being enrolled into one of the group lah. But I only can say that is that I quite proud of myself that I did not get involved in any serious crimes related to illegal things lah.
Now it's time for me to share a very important message with you. And the message is this: there are many forms of abuse. They may be physical, emotional, or sexual in nature. Parents can also abuse their children by either physically or emotionally neglecting them. If you are the one using violence, we urge you to seek help to overcome your aggressive and violent tendencies. If you are being abused or know of someone who is, help is available. please call the National Anti-Violence Hotline 1-800-777-0000. Family violence is not a private matter. Everyone can play a part to stop it.
All right. Hello, William. How are you?
Hi, Hafiz. How are you? I'm
Yeah,
good.
good to have you on WADT today. So, maybe you tell us about yourself. What led you to a bit more on the related to the anger and the abuse, and a bit of yourself. How was your past before attending the Brotherhood program?
It was just in 2014. I had extramarital affairs, so my wife took a PPO against me. I was searching for a group where I can learn and get support, you see. So I went to the same center and they referred me to Ben. So I'm not under PPO or whatever. I'm doing it basically on a voluntary basis. And I also have seen myself grow. I see among other people what they are doing. So I support them in that sense.
So it seems that the issues that you face, the events that happened in the past at home, after the attending the program, right? It has now changed.
I'm a little bit more balanced and centered in myself. The counselor did ask me when I was counseling with Ben at the center here. He mentioned that our role is as a dad and mom, so we recognize that role and we play that role.
So, Michael, you went through the Brotherhood program. I understand it's kind of a, it went over a few months. Have you finished the program, or are you still in the process of it?
I think it's more than 2 years already. When it started the first series, until now we already gone to the third series. I've been following since the very first one until now. I think it's a very good series, whereby every series we have new brothers joining in, new people joining in, and I think it's good is because I can hear from others their sharing on what happened to them. Then I can share with them what happened to my case also. So at least because for us men, it's not easy for a man to tell everybody or even a party that what's happened to him. Maybe it's because of the bride is there, you see. The bride is there. So it's something that you lose face, you see. So you will not say out this thing. So for a start from the first series, I can see that among our brothers inside, you can see a few of them are just sitting down there quietly for the first 2-3 section. But when it comes to the fourth section, they will burst out everything because they see us share with them what is happening to us, then what our thoughts. Then from there itself, I can see that when they burst out only, and then I can know that actually what their case, their situation is, then how they control it themselves. Then from there itself, I learned a lot from all of them, especially like we have a nickname from brothers. William is our corporate lawyer, you see. So everything relates to legal thing, then we look for him. So no matter how this series continue, he must be around. So
Yeah, don't leave. Well, I think I totally agree with you, that men initially might not be very open, but give them some time. And I think it just takes somebody to start the ball rolling. When they see someone open up and another one open up, they want to, right? They want to open up. It's a very heavy burden to carry if you keep everything bottled up inside. So yeah, thankfully there are places, a very safe place like the Brotherhood program and other programs where men can talk with other men and listen to other men and really feel comfortable, and they will not be judged. Now that you have gone through the Brotherhood program, can you share with us what is one thing on your personal, for your own personal life, what is one thing you have learned and how has that helped you to be a different man?
From the sharing from the rest of the brothers, the one thing my biggest takeaway is stay cool and walk away. This is my biggest takeaway because I believe not only for me myself, for other men, no one can take it if you see another man in your house with your wife. That is my biggest takeaway, whereby I see his coolness, how he handle it and walk away. That's my biggest take. You see.
So
That's,
what's the secret? Can you share with us? I mean, it sounds easy, right? Stay
mm.
cool. But what is the secret? What's the steps, if there are any steps?
For him that he Satan is just walk away, just walk away, then the thing will cool off by itself. Then from what he say, from there itself, then from what he share, I use that in my case with my wife. Sometimes my wife have a lot of other issue in the household issue thing. Nowadays I will concentrate. I put all my effort to my daughter. So I occupied myself with my daughter. So I set a timetable for myself so that my time is occupied with my daughter, so that I will not think of the rest of the things. You see. So let's say if I have a quarrel with my wife or what, any issue in a family issue, the first thing is I think of my daughter is in the house. So I don't want her to experience it or see it during her young age, so that when she grows up, it might affect her and she might bring this into her own life because she's seen it. You see. Because me myself has experienced it through my childhood time using violence. So I grow up really. During teenagers I also use the same thing. Even I come to this age, sometimes I will use it in such a form whereby there was one time when I was having tuition, giving tuition for my daughter, and then I resort to like violence, like slapping her, caning her, and then I think like later when the things cool off, I think that it's the wrong way to do. That's not. I should not have done that. I should change. Must change. I don't want her to have this experience, so I apologize to her that I will not do it to her. When I hit her, I feel very pain inside also. So I always keep in mind that to control myself. So from now, whatever tuition times I give to her, if uh, anything relate that I feel very angry, I would think that I have to control myself because she don't know. If she knows, she will not be a child already. You see. So I have to give her the experience that to grow up experience, so that she will not have to experience violence on her again.
I think that, yeah, that's very, very important. In other words, you want to protect your child from any of those very frightening experiences, whether their child is feeling threatened, or even being attacked in any way, physically, emotionally, or any form. Yeah, I think that will be very traumatic, and yeah, it takes a very
Yeah.
long time to heal, if it's even possible. Well, thank you for sharing that. Now let's bring back the others, and let's wrap up with this question on if many men will be watching this conversation that we're having today, and if there's one thing that you want to share with these men, maybe a word of encouragement, a word of advice, or even a warning, what would that be? Let's begin with you, William.
Okay, for me, I would
All
think
right.
that attending being part of a support group is critical, because we're not born with a manual of how to be a father in that sense. So being a part of a support group and going in the journey with them and learning from others, because when I look at others, what they are going through, I think my challenges are far smaller than what they are going through. And that gives me courage that what I'm going through is nothing compared to what others are going through. So what I would say is, if you want to get married, I would like we have the in fact. So the Vatican decided that we should attend a marriage preparation course, which I did many years ago. And I think what we should they had at the time a couple mentor tied to us. And I wish I had a couple of mentors, name and number today, so I can reach out to them. So me and my wife have a third party who can sit down and journey with us in that process. So for me, I think that all men, number one, I don't subscribe to violence, because that perpetuates with kids. And I go to schools very often. Dysfunctional kids comes about from there. Should never do that. And if you ever want to get married, I would encourage to find a couple mentor.
Wonderful. Well, if you ever need a marriage mentor, look me up.
Oh, thanks. I'll pick up a number then from Ben.
All right, now to you, Michael. What is a message that you like to share with other men who listens to this?
There's two message. First message to all the men out there, that is, don't be afraid, don't be shy. Come into our brotherhood, join us. You can just join and listen to the rest and see. You can hear from the rest, and if you feel very comfortable enough, then you can start sharing. As for the second message is to those brothers, because nowadays there's a lot of brothers who have foreign marriage, including me myself. So it's different country, marriage a foreign wife, different country have different culture. So certain country is like, but from what I can see until now, most of the country is you are not married your wife only. Yes, a foreign wife is you're like married the whole family like that. So have to get prepared before you go for the marriage. This one is for those maybe who are divorced already, or maybe have a girlfriend in hand, a foreign girlfriend. Before you go into marriage, anything should happen, I think they should join the group and share and hear from the rest, like me, myself. Then at least you will not get into marriage. Then in the future, you have kids already, then the violence come back again, you see. So the whole thing will not solve it. Then you have a lot of a herding child in the market already.
Thank you to both of the brothers for sharing. And I sense that you guys have gone through difficulties and become exemplars for people who are going through difficulties, and how after going through, you feel happier, right? You feel that you have changed. Not only that, you become also an example for others to see. And I think it's important for us to realize that in this series, for example, we are talking about being transformed, and we have to assess and evaluate that process. And unlike a butterfly, I'm not sure what happened to because this analogy of a caterpillar to butterfly is always being used for transformation, and it's definitely amazing how it can change, not only change but remain as a butterfly, and no longer even being seen as a caterpillar anymore. It can fly. So once the caterpillar thought that, my world is over, now I become butterfly. And that is the vision of the future that I think transformation does to all of us. So we need to evaluate, what we want to become in the future. And I think Brother William mentioned that the need for support is critical. The need for someone to be accountable to, like your counselor. You talk about mentor, and we always sometimes fall back to our own habits in the past. And these external influences are very much a real factor for us to stay on track, right? So that's the other things about our beliefs and the values that we have. Sometimes we have certain beliefs and values that is not congruent to our behavior that we want to change to, that you want to be like in the future. So we have to change those things as well. It's not easy, but it's something that we have to evaluate what our beliefs are and values are that need to change. And that itself again need a third party, sometimes a mentor, a coach, a counselor, for us to bounce off. And even our own brothers, in this program, for example, who has gone through the same thing as us. And that is very helpful for us to believe that change is possible, because we have seen other people doing it, and that example motivates us to change as well. Yeah.
That's right. I think to sum it all up, change takes courage, but change is possible. So we want to thank William, Michael, and all the other brothers who have come on this series of podcasts to share their stories and to inspire others that change is possible also. So thank you, William. Thank you, Michael. And have a nice day.
Thank you, Hafiz. Thank you, Hasan. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Very good.